everyone, my name is Sherry Sultani from Skyrise Media Society, Parvas TV, working for Persian Community. We are here today with Jodie Wickens. Hi, Jodie.
Salam.
Salam. Well, thank you for having us here and taking your time. I know you're a busy woman nowadays, especially. And so, Jodie, you are running again.
I am. I'm running to be your BC, well, right now I'm your BC NDP candidate for Coquitlam-Burke Mountain, and I'm running to be the next MLA for Coquitlam-Burke Mountain.
Now, I remember in 2016, when you actually became an MLA, I did an interview with you. But at that time, you were the youngest woman elected in BC in 2016.
Yes.
Has your experience since then shaped your approach to public services and politics today?
Yeah, well, I was very proud of that experience. It was something that I felt I would tell my children and grandchildren for years to come. Very proud representative of our community. I think in 2017, unfortunately, it was a very close election and we missed it by just 87. I had the privilege and the opportunity of becoming a leader in our community as a director for a nonprofit and raising my children. And so I got to watch our government from afar while they were governing and also support the community in a variety of ways, whether that be through my work, through my volunteer work, through individual work that I did with families. And so I think this time around, I really have deep connections with people in the community and understand the issues that they're facing. I've had the opportunity to work on complex issues in my leadership role and support community organizations, families, work with members of government in that capacity to try and solve really challenging issues for families. So I still love my community deeply. I have more experience in leadership, and I'm excited for this next opportunity.
Well, you just answered my next question, what has motivated you? So you just answered that. But what is your vision, your new vision right now for Coquitlam and Burke Mountain riding?
Well, I think, like I said, I love this community. I've lived here for decades. I've raised my children here. My husband and I bought our first home.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, with the help
Congratulations.
Thank you. With the help of family. My husband's a small business owner, a hard worker. And so I have had the opportunity to connect with a lot of people in our community, and things are challenging. You know, there are complex challenges that face us, whether that be in with housing, with healthcare, with affordability. And so my approach as a leader and my approach as the MLA would be to meet with people in my community, really understand the issues that they're facing, and work with them on those issues, whether that be one-to-one in the MLA office, with constituency work and advocacy. I'm a strong advocate.
I know that. We're going to get to that too.
But also work on those systemic issues in the BC legislature. Coquitlam-Burke Mountain is a beautiful place to live and raise your family. And so my vision is just to continue welcoming people here, supporting people here, and helping them live good lives here.
Yeah. And you do live in Burke Mountain?
I do,
Yeah,
yes.
you do. I know that even though that you were not an MLA at a certain time, you were involved with the community, especially Persian community.
Yes.
And I know that you were there because everywhere that I went, I saw Jodie. Now, what do you know about Persian community, and how can you be their voice?
Well, I love the Iranian community. It's a beautiful culture. I have worked with a number of Iranian families previously in my work when I provided therapy to children with disabilities. So in their homes, very intimately, always fed wonderful food and beautiful music and a very joyous culture. And what I know is that we have many Iranian families in Coquitlam-Burke Mountain. I've worked very closely alongside of a lot of Iranian women in particular. I know that family is very important and good quality education for our kids, making sure that our families have access to what they need to live good lives. I think that the things that are passionate, that Iranians are passionate about, I'm passionate about as well. And I think I can be a good voice for the Iranian community because I will always continue to connect with it and sit and listen and understand and form relationships. You know, my kids' friends come over and they're Persian, most of them.
Yeah, well, you live in Coquitlam. We're living in Coquitlam, Tri-City. A lot of Persians are living here.
Yeah, and I have always held a deep value of diversity and inclusion, and I believe that our communities are better off when we are diverse and we learn about each other's cultures and backgrounds. It makes us stronger, it makes us better, and I think Coquitlam-Burke Mountain is better because we have a large Iranian community in it.
Yes, yeah. Well, thank you for answering that. Now, what are you doing with your campaign right now? What are you aiming to address more in Coquitlam and Burke Mountain writing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a campaign is a team, and so I'm very proud of the team that we have. We have a lot of volunteers, we have some staff. Right now, we're focusing on connecting with people in the community, so knocking on doors. Every day I'm out there talking to people.
Oh my God, in this rain?
Yeah, in the rain, in the sun, anytime.
Nancy's nodding.
You know, some people ask me, you know, what's your favorite part of a campaign? And knocking on doors is my favorite part of the campaign.
Oh, yeah. Meeting people face to face.
Yeah. And I always say it's kind of like a mini university course in your community. You get to hear from everybody at their doorstep. People are very pleasant and lovely and want to talk about the issues that are important to them. I think that the issues that we are hearing about on the doorstep are similar across the province. Housing, healthcare, affordability, childcare comes up. You know, there's lots of moms that I connect with on the door. I knock on the door and they come running and they're like, we know Jodie from the moms group, right? Like family challenges. And so the campaign is really focused on connecting with as many people as we can, making sure that people understand the importance of voting and getting out to vote, and understanding how I can be their voice and how I can support them. Even on the doorstep, I'm meeting people that have personal issues and they don't know where to go. And I'm already working sort of as that MLA and saying, hey, I'm going to send you the link to this service or this organization because I know the organizations in the Tri-Cities that can help support them with their challenge and their issue.
How many Persians did you knock their doors?
A lot, especially in my neighbors, you know, right on my street. I think the other thing that's really important about this campaign is letting people know what's at risk and what's at stake. You know, John Rustad is running for the BC Conservatives as the leader. He's very concerning to me. He has very concerning views. And as a mom and as a community leader, I'm concerned that the work that we've done will go away and that we won't make the progress that we need going forward. On the flip side, you know, David Eby is a leader that I trust.
Yes.
He's intelligent. He cares. When I think about my kids' future, I think that's the guy that I want leading it.
Actually, I had interviewed him as well.
Yeah.
So he was in our program too. Now, let's talk about affordable housing, healthcare, and childcare. It is very crucial, especially in BC. It is important to have, you know, people are looking at to be able to afford to live in a house that they like to live in. Now, what is your plan for youth that you wanted to tackle and approach a different this time around that you're going to be an MLA?
Well, you know, when I met you in 2016, I was a renter. Me and my husband were renting. I understand the struggle. We never thought we were going to be able to get into the housing market. And it was just with the help of our mother-in-law that we were able to do that. And so I'm really excited about the work that our Premier David Eby has done, particularly on the housing file, a really complex file. Housing is an issue across across Canada and across North America, and they've tackled it with some really ambitious plans. So looking at it from the entire holistic approach, building student housing, building seniors housing, investing in low-income housing, and also today, really exciting announcement about helping people with their down payment. So the provincial government is going to support people with 40% of their down payment.
Is that for first-time buyers?
For first-time buyers. And so I think that this is going to be transformational for first-time buyers to get into the market finally. And so those are all really bold actions to attack a very complex issue. And listen, the reality is that our housing crisis didn't happen overnight. You know, when John Rustad was in government, we had rampant speculation, rampant, money laundering. That really exasperated the problems that we're seeing today. And now we're trying to tackle that and address that. So we didn't get here overnight. We're not going to fix it overnight. But our premier is, he understands the challenge and he's working every day at it. So that's housing, right? Yeah. Healthcare is a challenge. We have an aging population. We have an aging workforce. So more people are needing healthcare. More people are moving out of healthcare. And so the ambitious plans to hire 800 new family doctors, to look at how we're providing healthcare differently through pharmacists and nurse practitioners and community health hubs, building medical schools, innovation in science and tech. These are all things that, are going to take time, but we're going to see movement in them over the next couple of years. And that's really going to address the challenges we're seeing today.
Yeah, especially in hospitals and emergency rooms, like wait time, even wait time for your doctor. I know that before, when you called your family doctor, and then they will be able to see you for a simple call for the next day or this. But nowadays you have to wait 3 weeks, and by that time your cold is gone. You don't need to see a doctor anymore. So it is very hard, especially for the community that we're living in. Now I know that there's some kind of urgent care is in the plan, and there's some cities that they already have that. Do we have it in Vancouver? I mean, in Coquitlam?
We have a primary urgent care in Port Moody, and so that's a center that people could certainly go to. There's still waits. Look, my family and I, we lost our family doctor last year because he retired, was with us for my kid's entire life, and so I understand that. I think that the work we're doing is gonna make some improvements. We've had more people move to British Columbia than ever before, and so it's an issue that we're grappling with, that every jurisdiction across North America is grappling with. I think we're seeing some progress. Nurses are really happy with the plans and progress that we're making. The Division of Family Practice and doctors are working closely with our government to look at fee structures. We're kind of tackling it at all sides. I know, people are still feeling it, and there's more work to be done, but I think we're coming along. We're working on it. And John Rustad has promised a $4 billion cut to our healthcare system. That is not going to make things easier. It's going to make things a lot worse. And I want to keep moving forward. I want us to see the progress that we're kind of starting to see, and people deserve that progress for sure.
Now, if you become an MLA, is there any way that you could tackle this faster and make sure that this plan is going to work for your community?
I think part of it is education and knowledge. So, for example, a couple of weeks ago, I had a minor infection, and I was able to go to my pharmacist and get some antibiotics for that, and that fixed sort of overnight. And so I think some people in our community may not understand what they can go to their pharmacist for, what they can go to a nurse practitioner for, and that has an impact on sort of clogging our systems. So in a local level, as the MLA, what you can do is provide that education to people so that they understand, hey, I need birth control or I need this. I can just go to my pharmacist for that. I don't actually need a doctor. And so I think that's a small way that I can help and tackle that as an MLA. And then also just working as a team in the legislature and bringing the perspectives of your community forward to the Minister of Health and the Ministry of Health, and advocating for those things is certainly another way that I can do that as an MLA.
So that's how you can be their voice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about education and youth. I
Sure.
know that you have been a strong advocate for public education and youth service. What changes or improvement do you hope to bring if you become elected?
Well, our youth are our future, right? And so they aren't able to vote. We are their power and their voice. And I'm really passionate, being a parent of 2 teenagers, I'm really passionate about ensuring that their voice is heard and that we're working towards a sustainable future for them. And all of these things we're working on as government for affordable housing, healthcare, all of those things, our environment, are important to youth. And so I'll continue to work on those things. I think for education, we need schools to be built. I've been an advocate for that. We need more specialists in our schools for kids that need support. We need teachers to feel like they have the resources that they need in their classroom to provide that good quality education. We live in a beautiful, wonderful place, and School District 43 is a really good school district, and you need a champion for those things. And I will continue to be that champion, as I always have.
And being a mom, you're always responsible of looking after youth and our young generation.
Yeah.
Now, in your role as a director of programs and service for child and youth programs, you have seen challenges for young people faced. How will you bring that out? How's your background will help when or if you become an MLA?
Well, part of it is really having people understand the importance of early intervention and investing in young people. There's a phrase that says you pay now or you pay later, but if you pay later, it's much more expensive. And so when we invest in sort of those early intervention services for youth, I think you see really good outcomes in the long run. So what I do know is we're really lucky in the Tri-Cities to have good organizations delivering good services, and those organizations need to be supported. And the knowledge that I have around those organizations will help move things forward in the BC legislature. We are getting a Tri-Cities Foundry here, which helps youth with mental health challenges, which will be preventative in way of substance use and things like that.
Like children with disabilities?
Youth that are struggling with anxiety, depression, grappling with, even we see newcomer youth where their parents' culture is much different than, their culture they're coming into here. And how do you support the whole family around that? Providing services and places for those families to talk are really important. And what we know and what the data shows us is that early intervention piece, doing that when youth are younger, prevents more challenging issues later on. And those challenging issues later on are sort of substance use and bigger mental health issues. And so I'm an advocate for that youth support and support for young people, and it actually pays off later on. And so I will continue to bring that voice in the legislature and that expertise.
And that is very important, especially when you're advocate and you had that experience. You're not just picking up something and say, this is my new responsibilities and I'm going to do it now. So you have that experience and you've done it before, and you are truly a good educator and advocate for this matter, as a matter of fact. Now, the collaboration between different levels of government, it is very important. How do you envision working with local government and community organization to improve public services?
Well, in my experience over the last number of years, I think relationship is one of the most important pieces to being effective and collaborative. And so when you have relationships with your local city council and your local community, it's much easier to collaborate and tackle some of those more challenging problems, even if there's a disagreement on how you go about doing that, right?
Yeah.
And so first and foremost, I've built really good relationships with people in our community. And so that's how I would start, was with that relationship, having conversations, having coffees, attending meetings, making sure people know I'm on your side too. We want the same things for our community. We may even sometimes, when there's a disagreement, have to chat about that, but at the end of the day, we're working together. We do have a really wonderful city council in Coquitlam, and I'm really excited to work with them because I know that they care deeply about our community too. And so, I will work with them in every way that I can to tackle the issues that we're seeing for our community, as well as all of our local nonprofits who, those are resources that we can leverage in the complex issues that we're facing. And so I am a relationship builder, I am a collaborator and a consensus builder. And so I'm excited to be able to do that in that role.
Is there any public gathering that people can come in and talk about their issues and somebody hear them and can be their voice? And can you be that one person?
Yeah, I think there's multiple ways people can connect and bring their issues forward. I think one of the challenges is sometimes people don't know where to go, and so sometimes it is a municipal issue and they need to connect with their city councilor, and the MLA certainly can, make that connection for them. And sometimes it's a provincial issue, sometimes it's a federal issue, and you just have to direct them in the right way. City council meetings are public, and so the public is welcome to go to those meetings and listen in and, ask questions to their counselors. I think our city council is very accessible and their emails are all available online. And so I know that they do meet with the local public often. And as I would as the MLA as well, your office should be open for people to walk in and ask questions and, request meetings and things like that. And I certainly love that part of the job. So in any way that I can help bridge some of those relationships or make those connections, I certainly will.
I see. Now, Premier David Eby has outlined several key policies goals for the BC-NDP. How do you plan to align your work with the broader goals of the party, and while you're tailoring solution for your local community?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the thing that's really amazing about that is that a lot of the things that our Premier David Eby is doing provincially aligns with the goals of our local community and what people are telling us on the doorstep. And so he's very attuned to that. And I think my job as the MLA is that understanding the strategic big picture of our leader's vision and the party's vision, and how that also connects with the local vision, and supporting people through advocacy with their concerns and their voice to the Premier and to the ministries, and working that way. And so I don't think that the two are necessarily separate, but I also have experience with that in my leadership roles of looking at big pictures and strategic thinking, and then working with individual teams on their individual needs as well, and feeding it into that big picture. So I'm confident that in the role that will be done really well. And I'm very proud of our leader, David Eby. I think that he is a strong leader, and I wouldn't be running in this election if I didn't have the utmost confidence in him and his ability to bring our province forward.
And what role do you see yourself playing in the BC-NDP?
Well, it's the role that I love playing, and that's as a really strong team member. You need a strong team to accomplish challenging issues. And I am a team player, whether that be in a leadership role or in a sports role. And so when I look at my role and my vision for caucus and being a part of the team, it's how can I support my team and my teammates, and how can I support our leader to get those things done, both in community and in the province. So, yeah.
That's good. Now, as you look ahead, where do you see Coquitlam-Burke Mountain riding in the next 4 years under your leadership? And what legacy do you hope to leave behind for future generation?
Well, I think as far as legacy, I'll answer that first. You know, when I think about myself personally, I hope people think of me as someone who brought people together. And as far as I'm concerned, in our community, everybody is welcome and everybody belongs, and we all have a place to make our community a good place. And so, you know, I lead with my heart, you know, my head too, but our community is better when we are all together, and I'm a hopeful and optimistic person. Coquitlam-Burke Mountain is a beautiful, wonderful place to live. It's got wonderful parks, wonderful amenities, you know, great institutions in it. And so when I think about the growth of Coquitlam-Burke Mountain, I am hopeful that we will see the infrastructure come along with that growth, and that I'm able to advocate for those things, that people are safe and happy in our community, that our kids have a future here with us in Coquitlam-Burke Mountain. And, you know, I'm a hard worker, and my promise to the people of Coquitlam-Burke Mountain is that I will wake up every day, I will work hard for them, and I will always put their needs first.
Yes. Especially when you actually value families, and families are important. Those families are the, you know, generations that we are talking about. Let's talk about the guideline with the vote that we received daily in our mail.
Yeah.
So what people need to know about the guideline in the voting pamphlet?
Yeah, so people may have received a voter's guide. October 19th is voting day, but there's lots of other days that you can vote in advanced voting. I think our advanced polls at Evergreen Cultural Center, people can go into the elections office in their community and vote any day that they want. If people happen to be a resident in the community but are out of town, they can mail in their ballot. And so there's lots of ways that people can vote. If anybody has any questions, they can contact the campaign team to learn more about how they can vote. So Jodie.Wickens at bcndp.ca.
Wish you guys will see it on there.
Yeah, we will help them vote. Lots of ways to do it.
So my final question to you, Jodie, what is your advice or your message to our viewers and to our voters? And you know that we're talking about Persian community.
Well, Memnoon, thank you so much. My message to voters, and in particular to the Persian community, is that I'm very grateful to be a part of your community as well. In here in Coquitlam-Burke Mountain, we're a more beautiful place because you are all here as well with us and in our community. And I would be honored to be your voice in the community. I also want to thank you and Parvez TV for providing me with this opportunity to be a voice and share my views and beliefs and values. And I just hope to work hard every day that I can. This is a really wonderful opportunity for me as a leader, as a mom, and as a woman to have the ability to be involved politically and fight for a better future for our families, for our parents, and for our entire community. And so just so much gratitude.
Well, we thank you, Jodie, because I know that you're a busy woman. Thank you for your time and your input and your new vision for our community. We are wishing you all the best and in this election.
Thank you.
Now, here you have it, folks. Jodie Wickens. By voting on October 19th, our community will be a better place. So it is important to vote. Thank you for watching. Sherry Soltani.